Flipping ain't easy, and I gotta tell you, it's a learning experience. And I'm gonna tell you about the mistake that I almost made, or did I, on the other side. So without any further ado, let's go. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John from Flipping Ain't Easy. And today I wanted to sort of give you an update, or if you aren't aware, to tell you what has kind of happened and to explain where I would have made a mistake, a potential mistake. And I only make this video because I don't want you guys out there to make the same potential mistake. And I kind of wonder if this particular situation would have been a mistake only because it worked out in the end. And I want to kind of tell you what happened here. So I received an order, or at least a offer for 10 of these cases. These are the basketball and 9 of the football acrylic cases. Those of you guys who watch my channel, you guys know that I got 4 pallets of these acrylic cases, various types. About half of them are baseball, different types, some football, and a lot of basketball. And I'm talking like hundreds. I mean, I have hundreds of these cases and maybe about 400 or 500 of the baseball acrylic cases. And I'm only into these items for about $1.50. These larger ones for about $1.50 a piece is what I cost averaged out. My baseball case is about maybe, I think I had them at like 30-40 cents, but I digress on that part of it. Mainly it's with these basketball and football cases. And I put a video out about a week ago asking you guys, what do I do? You know, how do I get rid of these cases? And you guys had a lot of good ideas, but at the end it was just trying to find the market. I was overpriced for both of the cases, the football and the basketball, and trying to find the sweet spot so that someone who's on the fence to buy one of these things, you price it low enough, and of course they're tempted to buy and then they end up buying it. So being that I'm into these for so low, I'm okay with selling these. I think I have the basketball ones up for like $50-something, like $54.99, free shipping. You guys know I don't like doing free shipping, but it's what the market's sort of dictating with these. And on the football cases, I have a little differently. I have $19.99 plus $15 flat shipping, regardless of where you're at. And I noticed that if I ship those to the East Coast, it's like $19. If I ship them to California, it's like $11-12. So it kind of balances each other out. But again, even if I take an offer of $17.99 on those football cases and, you know, ship for $15, I get hit for $19 shipping, I'm still making money after fees. And that's kind of the idea here, is to move this stuff as quick as I can while maximizing the profit. Now, I say this just to give you an idea of what I have. I got a lot of these things, and because I have multi-quantity listings on both the basketball and the football, and I got an eBay offer sort of within the eBay messaging system, and this potential buyer said to me, I would like to buy 9 football cases at $20 a piece. That's with shipping. And I want 10 of your football cases at $35 a piece, and that includes shipping. So the first thing that came across my mind was, okay, great, that sounds good, but I told myself to hold my horses a little bit because I wanted to know, well, where am I shipping these to? Because if it was going to be like the farthest reaches of Florida or Maine or something like that, where we're talking the highest possible shipping rates, that might have swayed my decision. I might have came back and told him, he had offered me $530 for all 19 cases. That's the 9 football and the 10 basketball. I would have probably upped it by about 10 to 20 bucks, depending on where this person was at. It turns out that they were in Kentucky, which is still considered its central time zone. It's not far east from Las Vegas. I mean, it's out there, but I figured, you know what, this shouldn't be that bad. You know, I can still make a pretty decent profit. So I went ahead and told him, I said, look, if you want to send me an offer on the football cases and on the basketball cases, I will go in. I think I told him the football cases offer me 15 a piece, and then on the basketball cases offer me the 35. And then what I did was I adjusted it so that he's basically paying $5 shipping on each of the football cases. So just the way I had it set up, but it worked out the same $530. And I received that request on Sunday. Now, I accepted it, sent them an invoice and an adjusted invoice, and all was well with the world, at least I thought. That's where the problem arises. He paid early the next morning, which is fine. He paid Monday morning, and he immediately sent a message in all caps, "Please ship to this address." And so when I got up on Monday morning, I checked it, and I'm like, wait, that's not the same address. Same city, same state, but not the same address. So I'm like, okay, this is not good because I'm going to lose my seller protection. So I reached out to the buyer and I said, look, I don't think I can do this because I will lose my seller protections if something goes wrong with this. You know, the buyer claims, hey, I never received it, that type of thing. If you ship it out to a different address, that can cause you some problems in eBay's eyes. So I didn't want to go that route. And what I ended up doing was I sent the buyer a message. They never responded, which is kind of bothering me a little bit. But I called eBay and got a US rep, and we talked about it. And she told me that, you know, you probably should go ahead and cancel the transaction and just send them a message to do it all over again. And she said your option B, however, would be to go in and just simply go with the new address and ship it to the buyer. If they do open an item not received case, yes, eBay will find it in the buyer's favor, but to appeal it, and if you get someone in you know, United States, which I usually don't have a problem getting someone in the United States anymore, then they should be able to read the messages from the buyer and to go in and they'll make you whole, and you'll win the appeal. And she said, I don't recommend that though, because there's always a chance you can get the agent that doesn't give you the proper information and doesn't want to do the background work and will just deny the case. So I was kind of torn. So I went on the live stream yesterday and told you guys that we're on the live stream about the situation, and of course those who watched afterwards also did put some remarks in the video. And what I was leaning towards is actually just going with it, right? My mindset was, I'm only into these for $1.50 a piece. If I lose $30 in product, it's not that big of a deal, not the end of the world. What you guys say, cost of doing business, right? My main concern was if I spend, let's say, $100, because there's going to be about 3 large packages to get all this stuff to this address, maybe $100 in shipping. That's going to be pretty much gone if I lose some type of case like this. That's assuming the buyer even was the file an item not received. This could be definitely legitimate. So I was kind of torn and thinking that, you know, we're shipping it to the same city, just a different address. Buyer has 2,200 feedback, no red marks left for sellers on the feedback, no false positives left from sellers, warning about a problem with this buyer. And so aside from really the lack of communication from this person, I was pretty confident that it was going to be okay. But many of you guys said, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, it's not worth it. And my thought was, well, if I go ahead and cancel this, of course, I lose the sale potentially. And so I went back and forth, and I believe it was Victor Wawiorka who said to me in the chat, well, you have their phone number, why don't you give them a call? And I said after the live stream, I said, you know, I think they're on Central Time. I can give them a call, but let me contact eBay one more time, get a second opinion, and just to verify that, you know, eBay is okay with us sellers utilizing those phone numbers after the sale. And so I explained the situation to the US rep, and the rep was like, no, don't do it, don't do it. You're not covered, you're not protected. Didn't give me the same options the first rep did. And he said, you know, it's just not worth doing it. You could take the chance, but eBay is not going to have your back, which is what others have said. And I'll talk to you about my thoughts on that here in a minute. So what I decided to do, I said, you know what, I'm not even going to bother calling this customer. I'm just going to go in, cancel it. And I canceled it Monday evening. I followed up with a message saying, you know, it's just not going to work with this address change. You're welcome to retry it if you want to. Certainly give you the same price and same offer, but you're going to have to use the address you want to ship it to the next time you pay. And so hours went by, nothing. And then I got two offers. I got an offer, the same offers for the football cases and the same offers for the basketball cases. Same price and everything. And so I accepted, I sent an invoice, and I put in the notes, please be sure to put the correct address along with your payment. And another couple hours passed, and the payment was received. So, and the address was correct. So it all worked out in the end. And I believe, truly, based on just the actions of the buyer, following back up and dishing out another $530. Remember, I refunded the buyer $530 through the eBay system. That money still probably hasn't reached that buyer's account. It'll probably take another day or two for that to process back to their account. So they went out and shelled another $530. Of course, it's not my problem. They provided a different address. That's the cost of them changing their mind and not providing that in the first place. But it worked out. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I would have been okay in this case if I took the chance. But in hindsight, I just, you know what? I'm glad you guys were there for me in the live stream. Those of you who gave me your advice and your input, not a one said, dude, go for it. Take the chance. Okay. And it was just stupid of me. I should know better. I've been doing this long enough to know that as much as I'd like to hope that an eBay rep would be on their P's and Q's and cover me in an instant, this kind of thing happens. Let's say I would have shipped it out, changed the address. The buyer, knowing how eBay works, I got them. They changed the address. I can go in and claim item not as described, and eBay is going to give me my money back, which would have happened, by the way. Would I have been able to call back, dispute this, and know that eBay was going to have my back, as this first rep told me? Now, I am guilty of this, guys. I'm so guilty of this. I seem to put a lot of stock in what US reps seem to tell me, and I think a lot of the US reps are well-meaning. Okay, so at least we can have a discussion with these reps and sort of explain and get sort of an explanation of our alternatives. And I think the reps are well-meaning in that maybe they've seen this type of thing happen before. Maybe they've seen it where the seller is taken care of in the end, when it shows that the buyer is the one that asked for the address change. And it's quite possible that they're drawing off of this experience that, you know, hey, don't worry about it, you're going to be taken care of. But there's many stories out there where people have trusted this information or just went with it like I was going to, and they get burned. And the burn wouldn't have been so bad for me. I mean, I would have probably lost somewhere around 100, 130 bucks. And I mean, that's not something that you want to do. You don't want to lose 100, 130 bucks, but I probably would have deserved every bit of it, because I'm stubborn at times, guys. I'll just be real. I'm stubborn at times. I try to convince myself that sometimes things are going to be okay, but I got to realize that sometimes with eBay, things aren't always what it appears to be, or the raw that some reps make it out to be. And I only wish that there was a lot of more consistency when you're dealing with eBay reps, and instead of dealing with what they think is going to happen or what they've seen is going to happen, to be more consistent. Here's what the policy says is going to happen, and if you do decide to take the chance, then just know that it's going to be kind of difficult for you to get your money back, and you might lose out. So the takeaway from this, guys, is that number one, I've got to be more mindful of eBay policies and know that just like with my return, me being a stickler with my return policy where I don't refund the original shipping, you know, and people were saying you got to be flexible, and me saying that you know, you got to be consistent in business. Well, that's what eBay's actually going to do. And regardless of what one rep says versus another, we should expect eBay is going to follow what eBay says in their policy. Now, that may not always happen from time to time, situation to situation, but just know that eBay is going to look out for the buyer first. Okay, and I had lost sight of that too. So I learned a valuable lesson here. What I think I might have to do is sort of draw a line in the sand to say, you know, if someone is going to ask me to change addresses, if it's say under $30 for the entire transaction, then I'll go with it. But anything above and beyond, that's including shipping. I mean, that's really not a whole lot of my items. But if it's a smaller ticket item, then under $30 total, then I'll just go with it. Of course, you look at the buyer, their account, their feedback history, what their behavior is as far as leaving feedback for sellers, and maybe any false positives that maybe a previous seller has left for them, just to give you a clue as to who you're dealing with. But other than that, I ain't doing that no more. No matter how good the money looks, no matter how much I want to move these cases, it's just not worth it. And kudos to each and every one of you who actually talk some sense into me. Okay, I don't always have the answers. I want the sale as badly as the next guy, and sometimes I'm willing to trust a little more than I need to or than I should, and that's my downfall. But it's a lesson learned. Okay, and not only a lesson learned for me, make it be a lesson learned for you. You may get a rep on the phone. They're nice. They want to help you. But if it's questionable, where, you know, it could be handled this way versus it could be handled that way, have them point to the policy. And then once they point to the policy, that's the route that you follow. If the policy says, like in this case, you're going to lose every time because you ship to a different address, then don't ship to the other address. It's just that simple. Don't rely on a process that allows you as a seller to dispute it, because you may not get the same rep on the phone. You might not get the same person that's looking at your case that is going to be willing to work with you. It's a crapshoot at that point. And are you willing to take that chance? Because in this particular case, it was just about communication. We canceled the order. We reached out, and the buyer, I'm sure they were a little annoyed, but the buyer ended up just redoing it, and at the end of the day, they're going to get their 19 cases, and I'm not going to have to worry about it. I'm not going to have to wonder if this is a scammer. I'm not going to have to wonder if eBay has my back, because I have seller protection, and that's all that matters. So that's my experience. I want to know what you guys think down below. Yeah, I'm a hardhead, but this is about being honest. Look, I could present this as in a different way about maybe not even talk about it at all, but this channel isn't about me telling you how great I am as a reseller. This channel isn't to make you guys think that things are better than they are. I'm just going to be straight with you. Things are great with the sales, but sometimes this dude needs the community, and you guys stepped up for me, and that's what it's all about. And just as you know, many times I've given you guys advice and been helpful, this is certainly one time we can point to say the community was there for me, and I thank each and every one of you for the lesson learned today, and hopefully there won't be any more hard-headedness moments out of me, but I am who I am, and I'm going to always sometimes have this inclination to take a risk, and I think this statistically would have been the wrong way to do it, the wrong time to do it, regardless of how it turned out, because I'm sure based on the fact that he was willing to redo it all, he wasn't a scammer. He wasn't trying to get one over. So if you enjoyed this content, if you liked the video, hit the like button. Of course, Guys, we got a lot of people out there who watch these videos who just don't bother to subscribe, trying really hard to get to that 20K milestone, and we're getting close, but I need your help to do that, so please subscribe. And of course, if you want to be notified when we make a video, I'm trying to get more content out to you guys, and when we go live on Mondays and Fridays, then you're going to be notified. Quick update for the channel. I just bought a Razer webcam. I had a pretty good one. I had a Logitech C920, which was a pretty good webcam, but if you guys have been watching the lives lately, it just doesn't want to agree with my lighting, and it is doing all kinds of crazy stuff lately. So we're trying to fix that. We're actively trying to make it a better viewing experience. So thank you to all of you who watch the lives and are there with us. We're actively trying to make it work. We're going to get the webcam tomorrow, and we'll put it into play, and we'll see. We'll see how it works out. When you're dealing with eBay, just kind of be mindful. Be careful. Be careful of the information that you get from an eBay rep. Many are well-intended, but some just don't know. And sometimes you're going to get good advice, and sometimes you're going to get bad advice. And good thing I called a second time to get a second opinion. But at the end of the day, it was your opinion. It was your feedback. It was the community that stepped up for me. And I want to thank each and every one of you. But, you know, when we're dealing with advice and feedback and the right thing to do, it's just yet another example of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have an excellent rest of your day. And we will talk to you very soon.